Yes. Times negative 13. Okay. So, is that statement true?
Yes.
Yes? No?
Yes.
So think about your number line,
My calculator said true.
and you can even just put it into the calculator to check. But negative 20 is here. Negative 9 is somewhere around here. Less than just means it's to the left. Is negative 20 less than negative 9? Is it left of negative 9? So is that a solution? True. Right? I have shown that A is a solution because it made the inequality true. You got to know that. That's a straightforward one. Okay? Let's check something like C.
No.
Actually,
C doesn't work.
well, let's check it. Okay?
It don't.
So if I check C, what is 1 going to be substituted in for? X. Negative 3 in for? Y. So negative 3 times 1 plus 2 times negative 3 is less than negative 9. What do I get when I simplify this expression? Matthew, why are you just staring at it? Use a calculator, dude. Like, y'all make this way too complicated. I'm teaching you geometry. I don't care if you can multiply, add, and subtract. I care if you can do geometry. Can you simplify this? Or what would it simplify to? It's negative 9. Is negative 9 less than negative 9? No, it is equal to. So is that a solution?
That's a false.
So false. So that is not a solution, right? You need to go through all 5 of those points and figure out which ones are solutions and which ones are not.
So got a question.
Are you supposed to get more than one answer?
Remember, that was a solution. Because remember, that one made the inequality true.
Okay. So like, do we have to write down the wrong ones too?
I mean, how do you know it's wrong if you don't show the word? How have you collected clear evidence to show that it's not a solution if you haven't shown me this?
First of all, 0 times all of that
Now I see why that
equals 0.
So show me that. Just take, I do know that. I needed to see that you know that.
Clearly, if I didn't write it down.
No, that's the issue. If you didn't write it down, I don't know that you know that. I mean, I tried to make sure you had enough room, and if you don't, get a separate sheet of paper out.
You don't have copies.
You don't either.
Thank you, thank you.
You wrote that down.
Thank you.
Just numbers and letters.
You got your hands up, man.
Terrence doesn't even look and he knows my hand's up. Like, come on. Okay? Please hear me very clearly on this. You have to go through all 5 of them to see which ones make the inequality true, because those are your what points make the inequality true? Those are called solutions.
I have to
And
write.
you have to see which ones make the inequality false. Thank you. You have to look at all of those. Look. Will do. No problem. Bye. Hey Rose, they're asking for you to go see the office really quickly. I don't think it's anything bad. Just someone needs to talk to you. I don't know.
Do I need to go for my stuff?
I don't think. No, it was anything like that.
Okay. So we have to show the work for the ones that are false?
Yes. Someone asked why. Once again, you have to show which ones are false because how else do you know they're not solutions unless you check to see if they're false? You have to show me that you know they are false, so that's why they're not solutions, right? So you would go in and you would circle A, but then you would cross out C because it's false. Now, I gotta say, I'm really shook that no one said anything about number 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Are y'all, raise your hand if you need help with 6.
I think I did. I think I tried.
Okay? So,
Most likely have a. Oh.
They found you one.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't.
so most people struggle with 6. And I think I have one person say they had trouble with this. Please hear me very clearly, and you need to make a note for this. Is this an equation or an expression? It's an expression. So can you use properties of equality?
No.
No. Properties of equality go with equations. Properties of equality go with equations. Don't use them.
Oh Lord Jesus.
What properties can you use? There are two properties that you can still use.
Simplify.
Well, so yes, you can always simplify. It's not really a property.
Distribute.
You can use distributive property and
Consecutive.
commutative property.
Close enough.
Okay? I'll go ahead and tell you. D is equivalent. What property was used? Commutative. Notice nothing was simplified, but this 4 times x plus 2 divided by 2 commuted to the very back.
Yes.
Or you can show two different commutative properties. So you would have to say commutative property. To move the 4 times x plus 2 divided by 2. Right? That is something that we should recognize that is equivalent for that reason. Matthew?
So on D, I put a reverse sign, if that makes sense.
No.
No?
You gotta tell me it's commutative property. Anyone think that any of these others might be equivalent?
Wait, huh?
So notice select all expressions that are equivalent. Could any of these others be equivalent?
Yes.
Yes.
Like which one?
C.
C?
B.
Okay, we gotta show some work to get to C.
Yep.
What could I do to get B?
It's just
What can I do to show that B is equivalent?
Just do that.
What is that, dude? You gotta use your words more than that. What can we do to get 2 times x plus
Okay, you
2?
did distribute.
The X and the 2 and the other X and the 2.
I don't need to distribute here.
Oh,
I will distribute somewhere, but look at what I'm trying to get to.
well,
How did we get that?
Oh, they just divided.
They just divided. What is 4 divided by 2?
2.
Oh, okay, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. That becomes a 1. 2 times x plus 2. What do I need to do here?
Same thing.
Can I distribute here?
Yes.
So that multiply, distribute that multiplication. Notice I'm not using properties of equality. I'm just taking this and I'm distributing it. What is negative 3 times x? Negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2? Negative 6. Does that look identical to what we see in B?
Yep.
So originally they looked different, but now they look the
Same.
same, so they are
Equivalent.
equivalent. They look different, but they were actually the same.
Which other why did it change with
Because what is negative 3 times a positive 2? It might help you if you take a second to actually show that distribution, right? Because it was a negative 3 being multiplied by a positive 2.
That's it.
Okay? Well, that shows us that B is equivalent. We've used simplifying and distributive property to show that B is equivalent. We good?
Yep.
Okay? So I want you to notice, is A equivalent?
No.
Does anyone know what I did there that would have gotten me to that point and would have been wrong? Because I did what a lot of you usually do.
Not short.
Nope. What can I do to get to here from here?
Do 2 times
I can multiply by 2, right?
both sides.
Yeah, both sides of what though?
4.
That's not an equation. That's why y'all make mistakes, because you try to multiply by 2 on both sides of what? You just put on numbers. You can't do that. if you have an expression, you have to either use commutative property or distributive property or just simplify. To use a property of equality, it has to be on opposing sides of the equation. So A does not work, B was equivalent. Yes. I mean, it was Miss Wyndham, I assumed she was in the office, maybe it was in the library that she wanted you to come, but she said office. Sorry. C. I gotta do some more work if I'm gonna see if C is equivalent.
Okay.
What would I need to do? Divide? Divide by what?
2.
Can I divide by 2? Like, is division by 2 already there? So to divide by 2, I'd have to use a property of equality. Do I have an equation to do that with? No. So I can't divide. What's the only thing I can do when I have an expression? Distribute or commutative property. That's it. I cannot use the division property of equality. So 2 times x, 2 times 4, or 2 times 2. Okay? All I've used so far is I've simplified, I've distributed.
Okay. Can I go for it?
Sure, go for it.
So you now you got negative 3x. Minus 10. 3 plus.
So turn it into a plus, like you're going to add 3x?
You have to get 0.
What do y'all think about that? Can we add 3x?
I mean, sure.
Y'all are killing me. Absolutely killing me. Can anyone tell me why that's wrong? So I assume, Matthew, you're going to try to do this.
No.
No, I don't know what you meant. That's what you told me to do.
3. It's 3, not x.
Well, first off, I can't do that. The 3 and the x are together, dude.
You can't do that.
So you got
an equal
red.
sign.
Say that one more time, London.
You can't do it because
There's no equal sign. Can I use a property of equality like this?
No.
No. If it is an expression, right, they would be on the same side of the equal sign if we had an equation. This is an expression. What can I use? Distributive property, which I don't have anything to distribute now.
Come in on the
Can I swap things using commutative property?
Yes.
Yeah.
What might I swap with this minus 3x?
2x and 4.
I could swap the 2x and 4. I might swap the negative 3x and the 4.
Subtract 4.
I'm not. Can I subtract 4? Now again,
You can't do it.
I can't do that. I don't have an equation. But I could swap these two and get 2x minus 3x plus 4 minus 6 plus 4. Matthew, do you see how all I did was I switched the order of those two things?
I know, why do you, I actually subtracted by 3 and I still won. Look at my head. I actually got it.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well, I mean, I still got the answer though.
No. Cool, you got the answer one time accidentally when there's a multiple choice thing here. That would not be right in the future.
So then,
Follow the directions that are on the board. Commute those two things. And guys, please hear me on this, okay? Listen. What Matthew is doing is normal. But this is also what messes you up when it comes to quizzes and tests, where what you do may have gotten you the right answer accidentally when you messed up, but is that going to help you in the future? No. It's okay and even good to make mistakes, but you got to say, wait, that's not what I did. Even though I got the final answer, maybe I did something wrong. Sometimes you still did something right, but that time it was wrong. You got to learn from those mistakes. It is great to make mistakes, learn from them. Because now that I've commuted, I see like terms. What is 2x minus 3x? Negative 1x, right? I have 2x's, I'm taking away 3x's, I'm left with negative 1x. What's 4 minus 6? Negative 2. Negative 2 plus 4?
2.
Positive 2. So all three of those were equivalent. We all good on that? I'm not dividing by anything.
Why not?
Because I'm putting these two together, showing that they are like terms.
All I did was solve the problem from
Be careful. Did I solve anything?
No.
the.
Because what does it mean to solve?
X by itself.
To find the values that make the equation or inequality true. You done?
With everything?
One thing to be careful about. Okay. So when you substitute that 100 in, you got that number. And there's only reason, like you already got those right, but 145 would be somewhere close to there, right? And there's gonna be somewhere in the middle. And then 18, 400, and 18 would be way down here, right? That's like 38, right? And so remember, I'm also just asking about a residual. I'm not asking about the sum of squares. I'm asking you to draw a residual. What's up?
You got to pee on his milk. Yes, he is. So he can wind this whole thing.
You got 3 minutes. Max. Actually, no, you got 2 minutes. You don't need 3 minutes to use the restroom. Go. All right.
You can take your my dish.
Now, I want to caution you about these 5 because really no one asked questions about these. You can totally use whatever it's called,
Can you do
that
number
terrible
8?
app.
Is that gonna be getting,
Can you do number 8 real quick?
Sure, I can do number 8.
That was
But what I was gonna say is you can. What is the terrible math app that all y'all use? Photomath. Thank you. You can use Photomath all you want, but Photomath is going to give you an answer that will not help you on the test. Okay? So, don't use Photomath. Actually put in the work. So, Kelsey, what's giving you trouble?
Okay, well, I multiplied by 2 to start out with.
Can we multiply by 2?
Yeah.
On number 8? I mean, what do I see there?
Division.
Division by 2, so I can multiply by 2. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. No, so I'm showing my 1. To make it equivalent, I got to multiply by 2 on the other side.
It's not working. Add 7.
What number you want on? 8.
Number 8.
The 3
So add 7. What is negative 7 plus 7?
0.
0. 3x is equal to negative 70.
1. Divide by 3.
1.
Yeah.
So, what would I do from here?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1x is equal to. I don't think that simplifies, so it'll just be that.
That's right.
Let's go.
How can we check to see if that answer is right?
I put it in for X and it didn't give me the right answer.
Let's check. 3 times negative 71 divided by 3
7.
minus 7 divided by 2 is equal to negative 39.
Oh.
3 divided by 3 is 1. Negative 71 minus 7. That would be negative 78. And what is negative 78 divided by 2? Negative 39. That works.
I forgot to minus 7.
Okay. So this is something to point out. Should we be scared of fractions?
No.
No. It doesn't change anything. You done? Okay. Just leave it there. I'll come collect it.
Okay.
Let me collect the stuff on the calculator before.
If they got a fraction.
Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't know.
I got stuck on stuff.
Okay, what was your question?
I said if
Not necessarily.
How you gonna give me a quarter?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we did. Hey, this is actually a good question that Matthew was asking. He said, because we started with a fraction, we have to get a fraction. That is a definite no, you don't have to. You can get fractions anytime, it just depends on what the solution is. The solution in this case is a fraction, but you can get a solution of a fraction here, you can get a fraction here, you can get a fraction anywhere, it just depends on what the solution is. Okay? Number 11.
Number 12.
Number 12 is coming up.
9. No, never mind.
Okay. Number 11 does have a lot going on, right? Ooh, before I forget, because this is important, on 7 and 10, what is the first thing you would need to do on 7 or 10?
Parentheses.
Okay? Can you subtract those two things though?
No.
Distribute or simplify.
Okay, please pay attention to this because a lot of students make this mistake. Can I do 2 plus 6 to start? No.
Can't.
Because what comes before addition?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So you would have to multiply to get started. Distributing,
So that
and be
means I
careful
have to-
here. I'm not distributing a 4. What kind of 4 am I distributing?
A negative 4.
A negative 4. You've got to be careful about that. So I'm not going to word those all the way out, but you have to be careful about distributing that 6 or that negative 4 there.
Huh?
On 7
Oh,
10.
okay,
Be
okay.
careful. Okay? Also, I had a student earlier who was scared about number 9. Guys,
Scared?
yeah, because number 9 has some fraction in there. Guys, you can do 2/3 times 6 in the calculator. You can do 2/3 times negative 3 in the calculator. Don't let them be scary. Okay. No.
Miss Skinny.
There's a lot of y'all sleeping.
Miss Skinny.
I know. I'm like giving you free answers on the review on what to do
So,
tomorrow.
if you
I
distribute,
want the other one.
I have a student asking a question.
if you distribute 4 to the like parentheses, and then you get your answer, then you distribute 5, then 2 again.
No, because the 5's not being multiplied.
No, but like when you do negative 4
But-
times 2.
No, because look, negative 4 times 2x would be minus 8x.
You right, you right.
Negative
you
4
wouldn't put
times negative
parentheses?
7 would be plus 28.
You wouldn't put parentheses around that?
Because the parentheses are to indicate that subtraction happens before the multiplication. So once I distribute the multiplication, the parentheses are gone. Okay? That is a good question, but it is important to notice, is that 5 being multiplied by everything else?
No.
No, so you don't need to distribute them.
Wait, what?
Okay. What?
No. I just saw that sign.
Alright, so let's look at number 11 together.
Alright, can I do this one? Oh, can I write on the board?
No. You could tell me what you would do first.
Alright, so let's distribute 3, and then 7, and then minus 9.
Do you mean you would take your 3 and distribute it to the 7 and then the negative 9x? So, please notice, if you are struggling with distribution, show it. Like, take that extra second, do 3 times 7. Show it being distributed. And then minus 3 times 9x. Y'all okay over there? Okay? What am I going to do on the right hand side over here?
You know, just distribute.
Distribute by negative 1.
Distribute by the negative 1 or just the minus, right? So what comes after the 4x?
25. Oh.
Negative 24.
So minus 24,
Oh, that was 24.
And plus x.
and then a negative times a negative would be a positive, so plus x,
I thought it was 25. That's 25.
okay?
This is number 7 is hard too. I got
They
a
are.
fraction.
It's confusing.
Is it really that hard? I got 33 divided by 8.
For what?
Hold on,
33 divided by 8. Yes, for number 7.
hold on. You should not have.
Oh my god.
Your final answer should have been
I got-
negative 9, I believe.
I got.
No, positive 9.
Yes, sir.
How'd you get a negative?
Don't shake your head. Use a commutative property. So plus 5 plus 28 equals negative 39. What are you gonna do after that, Kelsey?
Hold on. I did something different.
Okay, there are other things you can do, but I always simplify first. So Dee Dee, well, I'll go ahead and say I'm gonna do 21 minus 27x.
Then plus.
Then I'm gonna let him write it. Okay, 21.
So what are we gonna do from here, Dee Dee?
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, Lord, Jesus, I can't do these. Okay, it's 21. Well, that's negative, like, minus. That's negative minus.
Minus 27x.
Okay, you see that? Oh, do the, wow, that's a plus 2 with 23x.
It's a minus 27x, a plus 23x.
Okay, do the, 27 and 23.
So what do you get?
I'm subtracting or adding.
It's a negative 27x plus 23x. How about you just use a calculator? What's negative 27 plus 23? It's that simple, y'all.
Oh,
negative 4.
oh, negative.
So it'd be negative 4.
There you go. Oh, no.
Let me do some leaks.
Like this is something that y'all are making way harder than it has to be. As long as you recognize that I have negative 27x plus 23x, use a calculator. Negative 27 plus 23, it's that simple.
So we put 1 minus 4x equals
Equals what?
4x minus 24 plus x.
So what would I get on the right hand side?
4x. Oh no, you get 25. No. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
So you do 4x minus 24 plus
16.
So say that again, Josh.
Why don't you use commutative and switch 24 with
Now is it a 24?
negative 24?
Okay. Could I use a 20? Rose, could I use a commutative property to switch my negative 24 and my plus x over here? Yeah? Please stop talking, pay attention. You were talking too. Okay. So you could totally use a commutative property to switch there. I will point out, if you are so inclined, could you subtract x?
Yes.
It's just, if you subtract x over here, you have to subtract it from the
Other side.
left-hand side. So it is possible in a case like this to subtract that x. That's totally fine. It's just whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do it to the other side to make the equations equivalent. Okay? Personally, though, I am going to just use my commutative property, because then I would get plus x minus 24. So 4x plus x? Ari. Ari and Lalicia up here. Huh?
5x.
5x. Alright. Now, this should be a much more straightforward equation. We haven't even used the property of equality yet. We've either distributed, or commuted, or simplified, and that's it. At this point, is that something we feel like we can solve?
Yep.
Does anyone need me to continue from there?
Nope.
Wait.
How about this? I'll go ahead and tell you that the final answer is x equals 5. You got to figure out how.
How? Because.
Hold on, listen. I need you to be very clear on, I need you to very clearly understand this. I have told you the final answer. Have I given you the last few steps to get there?
No, you gotta find.
You got to figure it out. I'll even tell you every answer up here. I don't care about the final answer. I care about your ability to solve. So, I think I already told you all, for number 7, x was what?
9.
Yeah, positive 9. We already did this one together. Doing this one really quickly.
X equals
You be doing all that in your.
You be smart.
Hold on one second. This one's actually a little bit tougher. Minus 2 plus 7.
Try doing this
Negative
one.
22. I think it comes out to be a negative 11 halves.
Yes.
I got number 11.
Yes, ma'am. The commutative property only works with an expression. You can't move across the equation. Okay, this is actually an important detail. I need you all to listen to this because this is something I've seen some students making mistakes on the test on as well. Listen up. So the test from last Thursday, I saw some students just taking this negative 4x and it magically appeared on the other side as if they were commuting across the equation. You cannot use commutative property across an equation. It only works with an expression. If you don't want this minus 4x here, what do you have to do? It's already subtracting. So you need to add 4x to make a
Both sides.
0. And I need to do it to both sides using that property of equality, okay? You cannot use commutative across the equal sign. This top one up here, ooh, that's a lot.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Number 10, the answer is 5. Okay? Number 10, the answer is 5. So you already know what the answers are. You have to figure out why those are the correct answers. And please hear me very clearly on this. Listen up. Yeah, number 10, the answer is 5. Yeah. You can use photomath if you're using it in this way. I've already told you the answers, right? Now your job is to figure out why that is the answer using your properties of equality. If you're at home and you use photomath just to get the final answer and then check yourself, that's fine. But it's very obvious when all you've done is use photomath to get to the test, because then you have no clue how to do anything. Right? Check your answers using photomath all day, every day. I don't care about that. Yes, we're going to look at 12. Chill. Good grief. Matthew with his, can we look at 12? Can we look at 12? Can we look at 12? Mr. Kenny, can we look at 12? You don't need to know about acceleration. Look at the question for 12.
Okay. A equals velocity times.
So if A is equal to the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by t, then what is an equivalent equation? So what do we need to do if we're trying to create an equivalent equation? Properties of equality, right? Or commutative, or distributive. Okay? What is an equivalent equation such that v sub f has been solved for? So I want this to be on its own at the end.
Okay.
So what do I need to do to start to get to that v sub f?
Undo the last thing being done to be
So what's the last thing being done?
divided by t.
Okay, so what can I do?
Multiply by t.
But Matthew, if I multiply the right hand side by t, what else do I need to do?
Multiply the other one by t.
So t times acceleration, or time times acceleration, equals v sub f minus v sub 0. Can you do it from there?
No.
Are you serious? All I need to do is solve for v sub f. Now, let me clarify, because I think this was confusing you. V sub f is just like x sub 1. It's just a subscript. It goes together. Okay? The only thing I need to get rid of is this. What do I need to do?
Why are we dividing both sides?
Huh?
Why are we dividing both sides?
Because math is